Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey, and I'm here with Eric Pierce, my co-host, the editor of the Downey Patriot, and you're watching Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric. How are you, Mario?
I'm doing great, Eric. How you do? How are you?
I'm doing fine. You have a lot of energy this morning.
I know. I'd make a cup of coffee because just got back in from Vegas last night after 3 days, and
you're feeling good.
Yeah, I just gotta get back into it.
It's good to have you back.
Good.
You missed the city council meeting this
did.
week. I know you're very sad about that.
I saw the agenda, and I saw parts of it. And it put me to sleep, but that was good. No, there was nothing bad really went on the city.
No. Yeah, so it's I covered for you.
Oh, you're a nice
worry.
man.
I did watch it.
Thank you, turning around.
I think the biggest story that came from it was, we like to recap the meetings, is that the Downey Pride Festival was officially approved by the city council. Yeah. So it's going to be taking place Saturday, August 26th from 3 to 10 p.m. It's being put on by LA Cata. They needed some city approval to shut down the streets. The city also agreed to, help them notify businesses. They help with some of the fee waivers. But it's happening. It's going to be August 26th. This is the third year. It's kind of scaled down. Mm-hmm. In the past, it's been a 2-day event in the past. This time, it's only a 1-day festival over on Downey Avenue between 2nd and 4th. So it's official. It's been already out there being promoted, but now it's official.
Why is it in late August? Isn't June the Pride Month? What happened to that?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's always been in August. I don't know the answer to that.
2 months later. So.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's kind of hot out there.
It's kind of like, picking, Christmas at a weird time. Hey, this September we're going to have Christmas.
Christmas in July. It's kind of cool.
No, it doesn't matter to me. I would just trying to be funny. So.
But I do mention because we can't pretend that there isn't some opposition to the Pride Festival. I've seen on social media, comments about it that are opposed to it. This event is a family-friendly event. It's being marketed as all ages, with a petting zoo, face painting, 2 stages of entertainment, obviously, shopping, vendors. There's going to be a beer garden. So it's going to be a pretty sizable event, it sounds like.
Good. It sounds kind of like the night market.
It does. Exactly like the night market, bigger. Somebody who's going to be in attendance is going to be Mario Aguilar, who's a pretty famous comedian on social media. He has like 11 million TikTok followers.
Oh, wow. Almost as much as we do.
I know, right? We can only hope. YouTube, he has like 3 million followers, if not more. So he's going to be there getting to work because he's actually performing at the Downey Theater the night before. So he's sticking around, going to get a presentation at the Pride Festival.
Cool. Well, great. Good.
Yeah,
good,
something
good.
for downtown
good.
Downey.
So Eric, I was out of town, and I know that you were asked to help moderate some of the questions on there. So just what's happening this week in Downey. So I know the Congressman Robert Garcia had a town hall meeting. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
He did. So he had our congressman had a town hall meeting Monday over at Fire Station 1. It was inside the, I guess, what is it, a garage where they keep the fire trucks.
Mm-hmm. With that beautiful new air conditioning that they have in there?
I wish. It was super hot in there. They were running fans. It was interesting. So it was his first town hall meeting in Downey. I should mention there were some protesters there, maybe 4 or 5 protesters.
The ones with the bullhorns?
The ones with the bullhorns. Okay. But it was a full house. He did make a speech. Then he took questions from the audience. He did allow he allowed the Downey Patriot to ask questions. So I participated as a moderator. I asked some of the questions, but it was a good opportunity to learn about his priorities in Congress and to speak to him in person. So I always appreciate an opportunity to interact with their elected representatives, whether it's on a local level, state, or federal. I think that's important.
Sure.
So
then, and I think he made the pledge or the commitment to try to get the $3 million for the Downey YMCA that he had talked about.
So he did promise to continue to try to get funds for the YMCA. That's something that's a major project here in Downey.
Right.
We talked about it. The Downey YMCA is fundraising to build a brand new facility, and they're trying to get some federal funding. And so he did promise to try to get that funding. Right. It's part of the federal budget, so we'll see what happens.
Right. So it's one thing. Just I'll give you my views. When we give Downey residents and Californians, we give a lot of money to Washington. So I hate it when they give away the old-fashioned pork and they build this in the congressman's district and new airport for this because that congressman's got clout and this and that. So there is a lot of those type of pet projects. But I have no problems when those things happen for us to ask for our things. Mm-hmm. And, again, this is almost sounds too small, but good for us. I mean, it's like if we're going to send the money on there, let us get some of it back. So if we stop that altogether across the country, I'd be really good with it. But since it's never going to stop, give us our cut in. So
might as well.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good point. And I think part of it too, I think Downey probably could have gotten more if our city had, our stuff together, but we have a brand new city manager. We have if Gilbert Levis, our previous city manager, was still here, I think the city could have made a more concerted effort to request some more federal funds for any other project, but it's really not happening. Even though the YMCA isn't really a City of Downey project, it's for the YMCA.
It's privately owned,
Yeah.
A nonprofit, but privately owned,
Yeah, so, hopefully for next year.
Okay, well, good.
But what struck me, though, is I wanted to mention is just the difference between, our current Congressman, Robert Garcia, and our previous Congressperson, Lucille Roybal, just night and day.
In what sense? In what sense?
In sense of personality, in sense of approach to politics, where Congressman Garcia, he's in the news every day. He's very vocal against his political opponents. He's very vocal, and he's very good at getting, views and getting listeners and getting people to listen to him. The other day, he was in People magazine, and I've seen him on CNN. And so he's very camera friendly, he's very media friendly, where, our former Congresswoman Roybal Allard was a lot more very nice and hard worker, just more reserved. Yeah. And she just took a different approach to her job.
Right. I'd venture to say she got a lot of things done here. I mean, over a 2-year period that we worked with her, 10 years ago, I mean, we got, $16 million in federal funding because, like you said, it was strategic.
Right.
We got the corner of Firestone and Lakewood and redone and all these different strategic dollars. So it's a different way of going about it, but we got some pretty good results in the past from that. I'm not saying anything about Congressman Garcia on there, but, he's got, and again, some of the things on there, I know that he talked about some of the national issues, the climate change I heard, and the assault weapons ban and things like that. So, it's typical from things you're going to hear about from Congress folks on there. So
absolutely, and I did appreciate that Mayor Claudia Frometa was there, and she actually introduced him, which maybe it doesn't seem like a big deal, but considering that they probably disagree on most federal issues.
He's a conservative Republican and he's a liberal Democrat.
Absolutely. But they both care about Downey, and that's actually the way it should be, and on local levels, they hopefully agree and work together. Yeah. So that was actually nice. I'm hoping there'll be more town halls And I know there will be right now. Garcia is kind of making the rounds within his district. He was just barely elected, 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
So there'll be more
in his
opportunities.
office, Alex Saab, myself, former Mayor Alex Saab, myself, and Notter from Financial Art. We were literally in his office in D.C. when he was being, like you said about the media thing, when he was being shadowed by an LA Times reporter.
Yeah.
So they asked permission if it's okay to him, that reporter, to sit in on our conversation in his office. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You're right. It will be a different style. Well, we'll wait and see on there. So
Yeah.
different thing. So I know that you just announced the Downey Patriot. There's a new candidate running for District 3. Politics it's not your bag. But we're coming up, the filing deadlines for the city councils are going to be now in the middle of August. So more and more candidates are starting to come out. So I know you guys wrote a story about it.
So we have, I think he's our third announced candidate for District 3. I don't know him personally.
By the way, just so refresh, so District 3 is the district that used to be held by former Mayor Rick Rodriguez that served us well. Then that lady that was recalled, Catherine Alvarez, she got in there, and after a year, that's the one with the criminal background, the recall that happened. So she was booted out of office. So this seat would replace her in this November's election to represent District 3.
So it's a special election to finish her term.
For one more year.
For one more year. So his name is Ernesto Valle, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Former president of Northwest Downey Little League. Do you know? I'm not familiar with him.
I'm a little familiar with him. I know that, the Little League there, sometimes doesn't play well with the city and like, oh, this is our land. And it's not our land, but it's okay. I mean, a lot of nice people there. So I only know him briefly. I do know that I don't know if he should be running for Downey City Council because at least in the interview done by Alex Dominguez of the Patriot, and that was the Ask Good Questions.
Right.
But I guess he wants to tax people that are coming into the schools here to Downey Unified, that from outside the area or so forth, which in itself is like, okay, I don't know enough about it. But that's got nothing to do with the Downey City Council.
No, and I think he's coming from a good place because he was talking about classroom sizes overall and how to improve our Downey schools. Very admirable. And what he said was, maybe we tax the students, students who don't live in Downey but attend Downey schools. Less tax for families. I don't know if you can even do that or not. But you're right, that's more of a Downey school board type of thing.
I like I said, when I read this, I'm like, okay, I'm not quite sure what's your agenda. But
not everybody knows. I think that's some people just have really good intentions. They want to help the community, and you learn. You'll learn.
But you got to know what you're running for, dude. It's like, come on. I mean, everybody, and I get it. And another story that Alex Dominguez wrote last month about it, be specific on what you want to do. So I guess that was being specific. Everybody wants good, public safety, good relations with the school district. Well, I can tell you, City of Downey's never had better relations. I mean, we had an amazing school district, right? And I know that for a fact from some recent things that we could talk about. But anyways, I kind of.
But every candidate says that, right? Let's improve the relationship between Downey Unified and the City of Downey. It's a great relationship already. I mean, you just maybe you don't know it.
Well, and that's the thing. But some of that one there is like, okay, do a little homework or come up with better specifics. Taxing the people out there, you have zero authority to do that. Right. And if you talk to the school district, they want some of those people from the areas on there to help balance off on there. So in some of the areas immediately surrounding Downey. I don't know what the percentage, some percentage. Right. So I get, what he's trying to get at, Downey first kind of thing. Right. But you got to know your subject matter.
Yeah. And, that's, it's so admirable that he wants to run. I've said it before. I think the front runner in District 3 is Dorothy Pemberton. The third candidate is Gil Legaspi. Yeah. I think those are going to be the two favorites. I will bet Dorothy at the front of that pack, but we'll see. I think it's
Gil Contreras Legaspi.
There you
Yeah.
go. But having competitive elections is a great.
It's
thing.
a good thing. It's a good
Absolutely.
thing. It gets the position.
And you know what? Even if this guy doesn't win, we need people like him because I admire that he's volunteered years with Little League, and that takes time. He's married, he has 4 kids, and he's an insurance agent. Sounds like a great person, and we need people like that in the community. Even if he doesn't win, it doesn't mean that you stop volunteering. You still make a difference in the community.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right, and that's one of the reasons I like. I favored Dorothy because I worked with her on the recall, and she'd been doing this for 30 years. So I think you're right. She is the front runner, just because she's already put in the time before, too. So that doesn't make anybody else bad. It just makes her better.
And in the next few weeks, once the filing deadline closes, we'll have a final list of candidates.
Right.
And we might get some surprises. We might even get people who don't file to run. I mean, that happens sometimes too.
Yeah, they announce it and then they don't do it.
Yeah, so for some other they test the waters or for personal reasons they don't run.
Oh my God, we've been getting some. You and I have been getting negative things on other people in the races, and it's just that's not fun. And but it's we'll talk about those later on, and that's. Eric Slee's favorite subject is politics. So
yeah, but we'll get some sort of resolution. What I want to get to a point where we actually know who's running and who's confirmed, and because who's kind of testing the water, which is okay too.
Yeah, and we'll do that in the middle of August shows. So Eric, this is probably a good segue now to announce some of our new policies that we have in Talking Downey, right? And you're looking at me like, what kind of new policies? I know. No, we talked about it earlier. We wanted to make the announcement. So we're going to be stable and steady. Okay, so every Friday, you're going to get a new show of Talking Downey will drop. Okay, right now we've been inconsistent. We usually tape 2 of them, and it's just by the time we get edited and it comes out at different times and different dates on there. So we're going to do it to every Friday. You're going to get a new episode so you can know and count on it, okay? Also, we ask for ideas and thoughts, and many of you have, and you're looking for ways to reach out to us. So we're going to do this at the end of this episode. We're going to put our phone numbers on there. We're going to put our email addresses that you can reach Eric and I directly, personally, or Brandon or Hans, and you can reach any one of the 4 of us on there to give us ideas because we like listening to you. Some of the stuff that we talk about is exactly that. So. But or not, right? Or not. So,
or you can also. Well, that's the funny part. I've gotten asked. I see comments sometimes. Like, where can I email you guys my ideas? It's talkingdowney@gmail.com, or just put them in the comments. Just put it in the comments. We do read the comments on YouTube, social media, so you just do it there. But like Marlo said, we are going to include it. It is talkingdowney@gmail.com. Let us know what you want to watch. I am excited that we can start telling people. There's a new episodes every Friday.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much easier. Yeah. Sometimes it will be Sundays, Monday, Tuesdays. So now it's new episode every Friday.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be, we've even talked about doing like solo episodes when there's topics that are important to maybe one of us, you know. Where we just talk directly into the camera. We can do that too.
Right.
But new episodes every Friday. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. And that's kind of neat on there. And, we've been having, by the way, we finished a little bit over a year in Talking Downey, and it's the growth of this little podcast on there has been phenomenal. It's been great. By the way, thank you to our main sponsor, Financial Partners Credit Union, has done a job. We couldn't be here without them. So we want to thank Financial Partners and Notter and everything else that the credit union has done to make this happen. But we got some good news. We got our technicians, Brandon and Hans and so forth. So we got over 158,000, views and impressions and everything else on there among, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, not TikTok. But we do have TikTok, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. That's right. So anyways, that was just a kind of a funny number, it's just that, wow, we had a candidate not too long ago that was putting us down to somebody else and says, they're little podcasts with 10 subscribers or something like that. And we just kind of laughing. But you know what? It's the whole thing is when you start, we're now the largest podcast in Downey. You know,
and you know what? I take it. What I enjoy is, I see it more from a informative type of view. I enjoy when people come up to me and say, hey, I learned about this and this by listening to your podcast, So we have listeners who listen to us or watch us for enjoyment, and also people who rely on the podcast to get their news, which is, it's that's important too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got a couple of great shows coming up. We got a great show about a young man, you won't believe it, from homeless to getting a $250,000 scholarship down at Unified School District, young man. So that episode's coming up. We're going to have another show talk about, the county, about one of our hotels here in the city of Downey. And we'll talk about it was a homeless shelter, homeless center with services. What's that all about? And we're going to be talking about that. So we want to keep everybody informed.
Yeah.
And things coming up on there. So anyways, you want to wrap it up, sir?
Yeah, no, it was, you can thank me later for covering for you this week while you were out in Vegas having a great time.
Some of it was Army. I was also there for a change of command, the 6th Brigade out of Las Vegas. So real fast, because you got me going on the Army. So check this out. The 6th Brigade out of Las Vegas handles 13 states all the way to in Korea and Guam. It's 1.5 million square miles, and it's an amazing. That's the 6th Recruiting Brigade out of Las Vegas that oversees California and several western states. But we have a new commander there, Colonel Wallace, a great man replacing Colonel Lindley, and we have the general, the head of USRAC, Major General Davis came out for. So it's a big deal. So Ann and I there go and visit with the the brigade there all the time. But a brigade is really big. We have a battalion here, and then you'll normally see, like then you go to the Long Beach Company, and then there's little stations that you see underneath them on there. So a brigade is pretty high up. It's pretty big. So
the Army keeps you busy.
Army keeps you busy. I love it. I meet some of the best people there. So and get to do some of the greatest things. So anyways, well, thank you. Thank you for covering me for me though.
Absolutely. You owe me lunch.
I appreciate that. I do. So anyways, so thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This episode of Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric.